Biomass is an alternative energy source that is based on plants. Bio for life and mass for matter. Biomass can be used by fire, which when plants are burned and steam rises to spin turbines, can create electrical energy. But biomass doesn't always depend on fire, but only requires heat. Biomass can affect our environment positively by protecting soil quality, avoiding erosions, and maintaining wildlife habitats.
Biomass helps protect soil quality because the matter that is being used can also be used for compost. Once the soil is protected, plants grow more, which maintains the whole wildlife habitat.
Biomass can affect an environment negatively because if not managed carefully, biomass energy can be harvested at unsustainable rates, damage ecosystems, produce harmful air pollution, consume large amounts of water, and produce net greenhouse emissions.
In this picture, it shows a biomass factory. As you can see, there is a lot of pollution coming out of this factory to produce electricity. This is a negative impact because it can cause many other environmental issues like ocean acidification and global warming.
Biomass can also affect ecosystems because when using plants or trees, there is always a possibility of over-harvesting. And if this happens, trees and plants will die out, causing humans to run out of resources. The cost of biomass technology can vary, but using conventional combustion technology without cogeneration, the estimated cost to generate electricity from biomass ranges from 5.2 to 6.7 cents per kilowatt hour in the Pacific Northwest. Actual cost would vary depending on the financing, location, system design, and fuel cost. The positive impacts biomass has on a country and in its economy is that you don't have to depend on other countries for their resources. Depending on other countries can lead to war and many other economical crises. Biomass facilities also increase the local tax base without requiring substantial services from the local community. Biomass energy facilities can help stabilize the local timber and forestry industry by providing stable demand for biomass material, which allows loggers, harvesters, processors, and transporters to make capital investments.
There are many ways to produce biomass energy, like direct combustion, co-firing, and repowering, but mostly it involves plant life being fired and would produce smoke, which then creates electricity by pushing turbines. Although a lot of energy is wasted and there would be more pollution if not done properly, it can be a good alternative energy source because we wouldn't have to depend on gasoline from other countries for energy. It is possible to store biomass energy by taking out the control variable by not burning the content to create smoke required to power the turbines to create electricity. If there was no overdose of electricity, they could easily place the energy into batteries.
Biomass energy is, for the most part, very reliable. I mean, think about it. It's made from plant matter, and plants reproduce, so there'll always be a lot of it. Of course, it goes without saying that it's especially renewable in places such as Seattle, with a plentiful supply of organic materials like all of our evergreen trees. And naturally, if we plant a forest of fast-growing trees, then we can replant new trees each time some are used for fuel. By the time each of the original trees in the forest have been cut down, the forest will already have partially grown back, creating a never-ending cycle. However, this kind of power wouldn't be available in places with very little greenery, such as deserts and the peaks of mountains. But for obvious reasons, not many people live in places like that, so for the great majority, biomass is definitely quite reliable. Surprisingly, biomass has the potential to be anywhere from horribly inefficient to extraordinarily effective. When just producing electricity, this kind of power tends to be about 1/3 as efficient as fossil fuel, depending on who you ask. However, there is a way to make biomass fuel about 80% as efficient, called CHP. That stands for Combined Heat and Power, and it's a special way of using thermal energy formed while making electrical energy from biomass. How it works. When biomass fuel is burned, the power plant generates electricity, but there's also leftover heat. If you just stop there, you have normal biomass-created electricity, with extra heat escaping into the air. But if you go one step further and use that leftover heat to heat up water heaters and such, that's CHP. So really, biomass has a lot of potential to become a great source of effective conserved power.